Hey guys, we're back here today to talk about these guys. And if you don't know what these guys are and you own your own Mac or Volvo, I suggest you know the difference before you find out for yourself. So these are the sleeves with the O-rings. Don't mind that one, I already have that one apart for a long time. I just kept it. But these connect the EGR cooler to the oil cooler housing. And what I mean when I say that, I shall show you. Now let's go over here to this one here. I just did this one, same problem. Right there, you see where that goes in there? That right there on my finger is, that connects into the cooler housing, okay? This one was leaking, and the one on the table, I will show you what the problem was. So, this is the original style, okay? See this? There's a better example. Steel. You can't kill it. You know what the problem is? When things are too good, they get rid of them. So this guy, you're not gonna see it anymore, okay? But if you have it, keep it. I always keep them if I can, at least one or two. This is the new one. Cheap plastic, people. Look at it. You see the pieces on the table? This is from the one I just did, okay? So you know what happens? It gets hard and it cracks. So you see here, it's missing all the pieces. These are the pieces. All these pieces here, here, okay? Now maybe you say to yourself, hey, but the O-rings are still intact, this and that. Yeah, well, it was leaking. So what's happening is, because this lip is gone, with the pressure, it's actually moving the seal off the housing. Not as dramatic maybe as what I'm doing, but it's actually moving it, because it has, with the pressure against it, it can actually move. And they're leaking. And whenever you see this, please take your time to diagnose the problem, because when you first look at the side of the motor, right away you're going to say oil cooler housing, because it just comes out of here. Okay, let's say this is going into the oil cooler housing. It comes down and then it goes back and down the block all the way to the ground. And even I've done it a couple times, I look at it, I'm like, oh, oil cooler housing. Wrong. That's why I always pressure test. And then it's hard to see it, but you have to go in there with the blower, blow all the shit out of the way while still holding the pressure. You get a mirror. You're gonna come from underneath this guy with the mirror, okay? And then you actually, if you have your mirror right where underneath it, it's actually gonna drip on your mirror, the coolant. And then you know for sure it's not coming from nowhere else. But the job itself ain't too bad. It's on a few of them. Like, I know there's different ways to take off the EGR cooler, okay? I'll tell you straight, I've done it a gazillion different ways. I used to always, because I never wanted to touch the turbos before. Now I've done them so many times, they're pretty easy in and out. But I used to actually take out just the EGR cooler on the sticks, okay? Automatic, you have these tranny pipes. I don't know if I'd get away with doing what I used to do. Maybe if you just unclamp it and pull it over, you might get away with it. But on the sticks, I used to actually have a trick I used to do. I don't know if I want to call it a trick, but this is what I used to do. On the MP7s, MP8, I might have done it before. I don't know, it's been so many years now I've been doing this. But so on these, what I do is I disconnect everything from it, right? The coolant, feed, whatever, the U-pipe in the back over there, that guy there. I usually just touch that side if I'm only doing the cooler. Like, I'm not gonna go through the bullshit, I'll call it, taking the other side off. Even though this is the harder side to line up, which is not hard once you know what you're doing. It's actually very easy. There's a pick you can use. There's many videos on TikTok. Very easy. But if it's not leaking, I usually don't touch it. And if the clamp looks like it's not too bad, like if it's rusty, whatever, like it looks like it's gonna fall apart, okay, you're there, do it, because you have a big exhaust leak. But if you don't need to, don't touch it. That's my theory with everything. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Don't try to be the hero, take everything apart. Good mechanics can work around stuff. They don't have to strip the whole freaking right side of the motor to do a job, okay? If you don't need to do it, don't do it. If you need to reseal something, take it apart, it's a different story. But don't waste time. Time is money, remember that. Especially in trucking. Your boss wants a truck on the road right away after. Even fucking owner-operator doing their own stuff, nobody's gonna pay you downtime, okay? Anyways, go on ranting forever. But EGR coolers, what I used to do is, like I said, take off the coolant pipes, feeding, whatever, the lines, blah, 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 exhaust. Then I take off the straps, right? Obviously, take off the strap, which is over there, strap. Then what I would do is I would pull it back to the frame where I have enough room I can actually take out this bracket and this bracket. And then I'd pull the brackets out, I'd kind of curve them out. I like screw around, curve them out, right? And then I have enough room where I can actually pass the cooler in between the turbo and the frame and wobble it out. Well, like I said, I remember the MP7, I've done it. I don't know if I'd be able to do this, but there's another trick I've done too. Same thing, but if it's tight, I've actually went to the front and I go underneath on the motor mount. It's hard to see over here. In the middle of the hole over there. 2 bolts, right? You just unzip it and then you just get a good spot on the support on the front over there and jack up the motor, and it'll give you some height and it'll make it easier to come through. But like I said, that's what I used to do. I didn't know as much 10 years ago. That's what I used to do 10, 15 years ago. But now I will not even go through that. It's actually a waste of time now that I think of it. If I like, now that I know and have the knowledge of what I do now, you spend more time trying to take out these guys because the bolts are sometimes a pain in the ass, and you're working in between this turbo, and all you have to do is undo the coolant supplies and returns, like on the VGT, on the turbo itself, undo the exhaust, take out the diffuser pipe. Is that what they call this one, diffuser? I can't remember anymore. I think this is the diffuser, yeah, with the 7th injector. Pretty sure it's diffuser. Yeah, take this off. You can actually just take this off, but to get to that clamp, I just take this section off. You can see I have new clamps already. But yeah, then these bolts are always pretty straightforward to take out. Up there, regular wrench. Then down there, over there, I'll actually use my ratchet with the swivel head. And on this side, I'll come in with my super long snap-on ratcheting wrench that swivels. I bought it for the Cummins turbos, to be honest, but now I'm using more on Max. Yeah, then you get this guy out, slide out of your way, and oh, lots of space. Undo this bracket, undo the hose clamp. If it's old, just cut it off, because I change it anyway. They pop all the time, Mac hose clamps, or hoses. Take it out, throw it to the side. Be careful, this always has coolant in it, unless you can actually drain from the tranny. But even if you do drain from the tranny, the pipes hold coolant all the time. So yeah, out of the way, easy, good to go. It's my tip for anybody. But I think that's the way to do it. Take the turbo out. You can try to save some time doing it the other way, but honestly, it ain't worth it. I'll tell you from experience. Just go ahead, do that. Then you can inspect your turbo while you're off. You have space, you can look at the side of the block, you know what I mean, if you got to do anything else. But yeah, so just keep an eye out for those. If you have the steel one, I think I put it back. If you have the steel one, you can use it. You can put it back in your newer truck. Or if you find a way to order it, I don't even know if you can order them anymore, but if you can find a way to order it, put a new set of O-rings on it, keep it as a spare, or when this one goes, or if you're already in there, do it before it goes. You'll probably never ever have a problem. But just be careful when this one does let go. you'll be picking up the pieces. There'll be a couple pieces in your EGR cooler for sure, and those aren't too bad. You can tilt it and get it out, because when you tilt it, the coolant comes out anyway. That's another thing. Be careful when you take this off. Be ready to catch a lot of coolant, because that EGR cooler holds quite a bit. Get those out, and then on the oil cooler side, that one, just be careful. If there's any pieces there, try to grab them before they fall inside, because once they're in there, you're not going to take that thing apart, I'll tell you right now. But like I said, the EGR cooler, pretty much it'll come out when you tilt it, or else you can get in there with a pick or something, and because it's got like a rat in it, right? You know how the EGR cooler works. It's got the tubes, so it ain't going to pass that. So for that much, you're okay. But yeah, sometimes you have it like this, sometimes there's more, but I just wanted to share that with you. I hope I explained pretty well, and until the next video, guys, talk to you later.